Arkadaşlar 18:30 D2 alelacele geldim arkadaşlar. ...5:30'daydı normalde. Tam 1 saat var. Canlı yayında o 1 saati bekleyeceğiz. Çok sıkıştım. Yok. Abi alelacele geldim de saat 6:30'da başlayacakmış. Tamam. 1 saat yayın böyle açık kalsın. Ben onu YouTube'a yüklerken de burayı keserim. Ben tuvalete gidip geliyorum. Başlıyor. Oğlum claim stoklamayın la. ZETA değil, SK. SK kazanır chat. Ben size söyleyeyim. SK kazanır reis. Biz SK'lıyız. Novi. ZETA'da Novi. ZETA Novi, ZETA Gero. İkisinin birinciye $400.000 kişi başı sanırım. Yok. Toplam $1 milyon. O büyümüş. SK'lı reis. 4 dakika kalmış. 4 dakika 30 saniye chat. SK, ben oyumu SK'ya verdim. Gero'yu tanıyorum. Novi'yi tanıyorum ZETA'dan. SK'dan Lena'yı tanıyorum. Joker'i tanıyorum. Başladı. $1 milyon.
And just 3 days of competition to get there.
1 milyon.
It's time to get this party started and get our first match underway.
Joker can just walk in. Oh no!
Adam.
That keeps SK Gaming in the lead. And Lay will take his first match. The final 3 seconds, Stu's gonna go for it, but there's no chance. Plays it straight into their hands once more instead of it. Oh, the pass! And the goal's there from ZETA Division, but extend the lead. A crazy raccoon beat the world champions. He can't contest, and Dünya tries he might. Space Station has it blasting off again. Will have no issue here, taking care of their fellow rival. Find some damage, but it's not going to be enough. They will proceed to day 2.
This next match is an elimination match.
Zeus chasing down Motep here. Elevate, they're going on to day 2. The connection as well, meaning he gets another super 4.5k damage left. That's not something Eternal Fire can stop. Here's Chino over the top. Unreal. Charles in a 1v2 to try and save them. It's not going to be enough. What a close match.
What a day it has been. But tomorrow is where the temperature gets dialed up to 11 because we enter our quarterfinals. And we'll be one step closer to crowning our next world champion. We'll see you then. As the dust settles after a wild first day of competition, our brawlers that have emerged unscathed
Dünya finalleri. ZETA vs SK.
Live from Superfest in the heart of Helsinki, Finland. Welcome to day 2 of the Brawl Stars World finals. Yesterday, 12 of the best teams from around the world went toe-to-toe on this very stage for a quarterfinals spot. And today, just 8 remain. It is going to be an absolutely phenomenal day of Brawl Stars esports, I can assure you. Now, my name is Barney Banks, and I am your host. And remember, we've got $1 million on the line. The Brawl Stars Championship.
İzleyeceğiz. Başım. Lenayna. Lenayna.
Oh yeah, you can hear the crowd. This one means a heck of a lot to our EMEA fans as we look to find our first semi-finalist here. SK Gaming and ZETA Division.
Kim yenecek oğlum? Ben tahmin SK'ya yaptım.
It's going to be intense. I mean,
İnşallah
this is number
yeneriz.
2 and number 3 of EMEA, the only team above them, Humble, who had a little bit of controversy yesterday. ZETA Division had to battle against Crazy Raccoon, who ended up getting revenge on these
Geda'yı
three
tanıyorum,
fellas.
Novi'yi de
They're a
tanıyorum.
fantastic group of members. They need no introduction. But one that stood out to us at the casting desk yesterday in particular, Meow. What an outstanding performance.
Now, you'd be forgiven for thinking he was the latest advance in AI technology. This guy is absolutely unshakable. But the advantage is real once Rama gets a hold of his phone. These guys are legit.
ZETA
And
Division.
yesterday, Meow, over the course of that series, was often not on Rico duty or really, put in a position where he had to be dealing huge amounts of consistent damage over the course of the game. We normally have a brawler picked up for that purpose, someone longer range or more consistent in output. Meow was stellar. Unfortunately, pulling up a little bit short against Crazy Raccoon. That's a game, you run it back 10 times, it goes 5 and 5.
Could have gone either way, and SK Gaming on the other end. A fearsome opponent, Joker,
Yoshi, Lenay'ın,
all of
Joker.
them have taken to the global stage many a time, but this roster in particular has to be noted. When you think about SK Gaming, they run through Lana. When talking with these guys,
Hepsini tanıyorum ben buradaki.
full out aggression. As Lana so delicately put it in an interview, we are very, very aggressive. Emphasis on very. That's what they do. They power up Lana.
Bunlar oynadıkla biz. Ben bunların hepsini tanıyorum, tamam. Yoshi, Joker, Lenay. Eskiyi tanıyoruz hepimiz.
He was that high economy, high investment player. Now at SK Gaming though, he's taken a bit more of a backseat, is a bit more focused on the strategic side of things. Getting together with Pedro, working out the drafts and making sure every SK composition is tailor-made to put Lana in a position to succeed. And that's exactly what we saw yesterday.
Başlayacak ya. Heyecanlıyız ya. Heyecanlıyız. 40 saniye kaldı chat.
Rate was really high, and I'm just going to trust in the fact that these guys can deliver on a land setting as well. I almost feel like they're due in a sense. Should ZETA Division be the favorites? Yeah, I think they should. They're the defending world champion. They were ahead in seeding, but at the end of the day, these players are way too talented not to finally grab a marquee win for their career.
And it doesn't matter what kind of year SK Gaming have had. It really doesn't.
Aha başlıyor.
When we get to a land like this, we always believe there's a chance. But you at home at event.brawlstars.com feel like this is
Dünya.
ZETA Division's game to lose.
Dünya finalleri, değil mi?
We're headed to knockout first. It'll be out in the open. A map where you really got to think about taking brawlers that can operate over water. Taking sharpshooters. Pearl will be pretty hotly contested, but that's been banned straight away for SK Gaming. They don't want to deal with that brawler who often offers a deterministic situation late in the
Çok
game.
heyecanlıyım lan.
Yesterday's number 1 most picked brawler is going to be the first selection overall. However, 33% win rate. And one thing to keep in mind too in terms of the brawler pool, only 3 sets of maps, but everybody kind of secure in that. Now,
Oğlum ne yazıyorsunuz lan?
maps, we kind of know exactly how teams are feeling in terms of the draft. Gus's success rate not high, but he was played a whole lot.
And the question is, are SK Gaming, even on a knockout map, are they angling for a Kenji pick, potentially? Got Zingas paired with these high-risk brawlers to try and make a play with that shield, but Angelo feels like a must-have on this map. He can operate on the left-hand side, of course, being able to cross that water, has extremely high burst damage and high mobility to boot.
I thought Angelo was going to be the first overall pick, considering he was a top 3 ban yesterday. And granted, we did have a lot of knockout, a lot of bounty yesterday. But it's clear that pro players really value him for this game mode. And especially on out in the open, like you alluded to, you need that mobility, the extra space to get around that indestructible wall. Huge difference maker.
So Centerpiece Brawler picked up here for ZETA Division. Now we can start thinking about how they fill the rest of this out. Meg comes in here with a reduction to her maximum range on her primary fire. Recently, she doesn't cover the map quite as easily and will need to play a bit more aggressive in a side lane on a lot of maps. But here, when push comes to shove, Meg having a second life virtually after getting knocked out of the mech, being able to potentially fall back
Çok heyecanlı lan.
in the mech means that she's quite
Bayağı heyecanlı. Çok.
At a
Heyecanlıyız.
You got to deal with her twice, and when you only get 3 lives, having a 4th, if you will, is a big difference maker. Lola making an appearance here. This is going to be an attempt at shredding through this Meg.
Lan.
Difference maker. Lola making an Meg. They need high DPS to bring Meg down to just a measly pea shooter with a tiny pistol. And of course, Angelo, as a sharpshooter with only 1 projectile, not going to do too well into the extra spawner that Lola brings with that super.
This used to be a really common pick for Chaos when he was on this SK Gaming roster. Saw it all the time.
SK Gaming. Hadi be. SK Gaming yapar lan. Oğlum çok heyecanlı lan. Kenji abi.
They kind of telegraphed it with a gust take at the start.
Piper giderdi bu haritada. Piper ya da Shelly. Ya Piper ya da Shelly giderdi bu haritada yani. Kenji gitmez ya. Kenji yakın karakter. Knockout bu. Ya da Mandy gider. Mandy. Novi alacaksa Mandy alsın. Mandy gider. Mandy, Shelly, Piper. Bu üçü gider.
Both these teams know each other quite well, even though they only played each other a few times. This is the biggest moment of the year for both of them. Daryl going to be where they put their faith.
Okay, Daryl of course has the potential to be highly disruptive. We've actually seen him used to counter Frank on a lot of Brawl Ball maps because he can interrupt that super. That little knock-up makes a big difference to any super that's channeled or there's a wind-up associated with them. But that's not really what SK Gaming are working with. Daryl, though, very solid when it comes to all-in between him and Meg. You've got a lot of health available. And, ladies and gentlemen, it's time. An EMEA clash. SK Gaming versus Zeta Division.
In this first quarterfinal.
And the crowd already lighting up. The SK chants have begun. Lana diving in early. It's tank on tank here on the top left-hand side. Middle of the map. Sharpshooter Angelo landing a few tags. Now being rendered down to just 1,600 HP. He's going to have to take a break.
You've got to respect this Kenji. The fact that Lena, he has a passive that allows him to heal for damage done. It's a rarity.
Yok yok, burada Shelly gitmez. Bu benim düşündüğüm harita değil. Piper gider. Mandy de gider. Piper ve Mandy gider bu haritada. Mandy iyi seçim. Bak Mandy olsa Mandy alabilirdi Lena'yı. Çünkü gitmez. Bak hemen öldü zaten.
Prime position to target. Now this fog's starting to roll on in. Garo, right-hand side, looking for an angle. Meow on the left, just brought down to a pistol here, but roll available for Daryl up top.
It's a matter of time until Garo starts hitting these shots, especially with the gas encroaching. It's dangerous. Novi just walks up on him. SK Gaming cannot afford to lose their Kenji.
Yaparsınız la hadi.
Gonna be a reset here. Daryl now on the left-hand side. Lana once again diving in. This is going to be one roll. Looking for a second here. The bounce off the wall. It's a bank shot. A dive in as well. This time, disaster for SK Gaming. Early lead as Meow looks to bring him down. Game 1 going to Zeta Division.
You remember how we talked about stability? We're seeing the other end of the spectrum here in SK Gaming. In the past, they've been known to be a little streaky. And that was a bit of a stinker from them to start off this quarterfinal.
The series in the BSC top 8, 1-1 apiece from these two. 3-1 Zeta one time, and the other 3-2 SK. We know this is going to be tough. SK Gaming at their peak, though, I do think can keep up with the previous world champions.
So low again, already has to use one charge of that gadget. And all of SK Gaming are forced away. So far, this Kenji pick has been utterly countered by Novi. We're now hoping for the arc of that slash to maybe catch onto the Daryl, reveal him at the very least here, but this is oppressive now for
Ben de yedek hesabımda 118.000'e kasıyorum. Mikito. Hesabımın adı Mikito arkadaşlar. Yedek hesabım evet. Sıralamada yanlış hatırlamıyorsam 67 ya da 68'deyim. Yanlış hatırlamıyorsam. Dünya sıralaması.
And they will have an opportunity here to try and strike back.
Quietly, Yoshi's been the difference maker for SK. That poke damage on Meow forces Zeta Division back into their own half of the map. And now SK Gaming have a chance to make something of it. Meow barely gets away alive there. Still needs to respect Lenar as he encroaches on the left. Novi's being kept low as well. SK Gaming, it's good poke damage. Here's Garo throwing the super down. Joker forced to play in the gas for the time being. He's going low. Lenar up front and center. Goes for the super.
Hayır ya.
Everybody in Zeta Division. Look, a cut above.
Kaybedeceğiz ya.
SK Gaming not finding those early frags. They have to find a way to respond here. Once again, the long range lane on the right hand in.
ZETA çıkacak ya. ZETA aldı. Net aldı.
They need to start off here early. They've been in their back spawn a lot of the time. Here goes Lenon off to the races. One tap away from bringing Meow down. That would have been so good for them.
This composition so solid for ZETA Division. It's not flashing at all, but it is very good at doing what it needs to, which is to stay alive. SK Gaming have scored 0 kills over the course of this set thus far, and that might be a trend that continues. One hit of the super, catching on to Novi. Lenar wants more.
Hayır lan, alırsınız. Diyeceğim de alamazlar. Aa, öldü. Öldü o. Aa lan, ölmedi. Hadi lan. Helal olsun. Yani çok iyi kurtardılar. Bunu yenerlerse çok güzel olur.
They have to find that comfortable strategy that's worked for them all year long. It doesn't matter who you're facing off against. Do something you're good at, and better yet, play one of the best, if not the best brawlers in the game while you're doing it.
So now we know their comp works, Kenny, but it means they need a fair amount of poke damage early in the round. Yoshi was huge, especially getting that shield.
Bu arada en iyi Jin gider.
3 supers up here for SK Gaming.
Ama onu da alma yasaklandı değil mi?
Got a ego on the field for Joker. That Lola hitting hard right now.
Kimse yasaklanmasa Jin çok iyi gider bu arada.
Yoshi trying to do a scouting report, but he just can't seem to find him quite yet. Navi on the left hand in, looking for a burst of aggression. Machine gun fire coming out of that mech. Lenon knows he has to get to this early. Shield on Yoshi. He's trying to dive in, but the aggressive brawler goes down early. A roll in from Daryl. Yoshi slowed down, rendered useless, brought to his knees, and a lone Joker is gonna have to find a way to clutch this up.
1 versus 3.
Alamazlar. İmkanı yok. ZETA aldı. Finalleri aldı. Yanlış oy.
Good damage output Lola has. But I'm going to give it to you straight, folks. This is
yanlış oy.
Joker knows it as well, and SK Gaming will concede this set. Taking too long to wake up. And it's ZETA Division that swoop in for a comfortable start.
A little bit of a reality check here for SK Gaming.
Finalleri ZETA çıkacak. Ben size söylüyorum.
Different game mode we've got coming up. This is a best of 5 here today. They've got a little bit of a margin for error, but not a lot, especially when you're playing against a world champion. You don't want to be in a spot where you're down 1, 2 sets and have to claw your way back to do the impossible.
I think ZETA Division are happy to leave Kenji open. They may have baited it from SK, feeling like they had contingency, feeling like they had a composition that could handle it, and they have demonstrated that. I mean, Meg, so high damage, Daryl so punishing, especially with that tar barrel. Something we really just glossed over. Makes it difficult for Lenar to actually get to his intended target. Yoshi does not have the damage to deal with these 2 tanks when they go for him. And we see ZETA Division exploiting the window where there's no ego available for Joker. It just got picked off prior by Gero in that last clip.
The lowest frag for ZETA Division had as many kills as the entire roster of SK Gaming that set. That's a statement. This team dominated them in the opener. And to your point too, while on ladder for our average player like myself, Lenar playing this Kenji is so good, but when you have professionals drafting, they can make adjustments. I don't think Daryl's too bad of a consolation prize. If anything, to get a shotgun brawler to go into the tank, I think you're right. ZETA Division were more than comfortable letting Kenji go.
And you've got to feel like when we start to get to the end of those knockout rounds, and the gas comes in, you have 2 very durable tanks. Daryl, who's hard to kill at the best of times, and Meg, who gets virtually a second life. That matters a whole lot when you're in a race and the gas comes in, you get knocked out of the mech, you get a little bit longer than your opponents to survive. Of course, as you virtually have
biz de eskilerin
in a reserve.
küçük bir esport maçına katılmıştım ya. SK vs ZETA. Hatırlattı bana, evet. Bunu hatırlattı bana.
This is control. The name of the game is holding that center point and playing at the objective here. Kills are nice. Kills
yanlış hatırlamıyorsam yanında Juan Carlos vardı çünkü şeydi ya, Joker ve Yoshi gelememişti. Juan Carlos da onun önerilerden seçildi o da. O yüzden Juan Carlos katıldı. Ben vardım. Bir de Lenain vardı. VS neydi? Kiaz vardı, Novi vardı. Kuba vardı. ZETA Kuba. ZETA 2023 şampiyon oğlum. Herhalde. Bir zahmet.
He is my favorite, and I regret to inform Brawl Nation that his win rate yesterday was atrocious. 14.3%, and he was tied for fourth most played. That's not a good sign, but as an early pick, it is preventative. You probably know that SK Gaming are looking for something aggressive, something tanky, and the ultimate shutdown to that is the old man on the right-hand side.
We've seen Gale played in side lanes here. Tends to get outranged a lot of the time, but is able to move up. Twister also very powerful to lock someone on their own half of the map, and SK are adamant that this Kenji pick is where they want to be, but this time they really telegraph it at the start of the draft, giving ZETA Division plenty of room to play around it, and Hot Zone and Lu go together like peanut butter and jelly.
Makes sense, but it's a really early pick. On the other end, they haven't even selected a tanky option. Traditionally, we'll see that be a response. They won't be proactive with a Lu pick. They'll respond to what the other side does. It's a good pick for the mode. I feel like if you had to tier list the brawlers, though, he'd be no means an S tier or even an A tier brawler in my books.
Yeah, we saw him brought in, I think, on some knockout maps yesterday. Might even have been Luminosity that attempted to make that work. Lily picked up here, okay. This is fun. Obviously, Lily has the ability to enter the same shadow realm that Cordelius sends people to.
Bu esporcular da bütün karakterler olmak zorunda arkadaşlar. Ha bunu da bilmiyorsanız ne bileyim artık. Hani savaşıyorlar ya.
That gadget is just absolutely insane. If any
Yani
brawler in the game has
mesela
that gadget,
seçmeleri gereken karakter onu yen. Neyse zorunlu bir şey. Esporcu olacaksan bütün karakterlerin full olması gerekiyor. Novi ne seçiyor? Larry ve Lowry. Haritayı görmem lazım. Unuttum nasıl bir haritaydı. Larry ve Lowry gider mi orada?
Blue's not going to be able to get to him. Kenji's going to have to get some creepy peek shots, kind of sneak around. It's going to take a lot to get up to him. And on top of that, out of all the throwers, he is the most able because of Lori on his side to help out against people like that. Because he's got two options to shoot at one guy.
You might want to try and outrange the Larry and Lori with a thrower of your own here, though. That, for SK Gaming, could be an option. Cordelius picked up instead, so we have such an interesting interaction here between both of these, I guess, what do we call them? Enchanted Forest Brawlers. They both make use of the Shadow Realm as a separate area in the game. Cordelius might be intended to specifically
SK takımı şu an güzel seçti haritaya göre sanırım. Haritayı hatırladığıma göre güzel. Gale belki o haritada iyi gider. İkisini bilmiyorum. En kötüsü Novi seçmiş o harita için.
But hey, getting started now wouldn't be the worst. Gero's already got himself into the back line there with Yoshi absolutely flattened by Meow there. Joker really has nowhere to go. Gero is a consolation, but Lanar less focused on capturing this area, more on trying to run down the rest of ZETA Division.
Ah be. Geçiyorlar öne.
Decent amount of time on the point itself. Gero wants Yoshi, and again, the Lu is down. Lanar can't even fight against this Lily.
The Joker ready with a super, a perfect connection as well, but he can't get anything on that hot zone while underneath. So I think Gero can be happy to take this trade. Yoshi now right-hand side, and once again, Lanaz going hunting. Navi very close to him. Larry grouped up with him. He's going for the double tag. Has a super available. Not going to use it yet. Joker still at the ready, and now has a hypercharge. A dive in, slice and dice for Kenji.
He's a problem for the thrower on this map. You actually can't contest.
Joker'deki Lena'yı seçtik orada Elis'i. Ya zaten Lena'yı hep Kenji seçiyor. Anladık en Kenji sensin. Yorum yazıyormuş. Yorum yazıyormuş. Oha.
But plenty of targets to choose from now. It's another Lori that has to be dealt with. Meow is a little bit low. Joker with a jump. Dodges the shot. Stunned up to the right-hand side, and Novi's got his hands full. Pulled now into the Shadow Realm.
Perfect tech by Larry Lori.
Yeniyorlar şu an.
Joker, this is the best of both of these teams right now. 70%.
Oo Mezza kardeşim hoş geldin. Mezza yorum yapmış arkadaşlar.
Even gonna be dueling. Here comes a double tag. Meow gets connected with once. Some snow cones tagging him up as well, but it's still ZETA.
Güzel maç. ZETA'ya ver. Mezza ZETA'ya vermiş oyunu. Öyle diyor yani.
Joker able to get a super on the Gero, basically rendering the Lily useless for the time being. 94% and counting. Joker and Yoshi stacked up. Here comes ZETA Division, but it's too little.
Zaten oğlum SK yendi, güzeldi maç. Ama
neck and neck here. SK Nation getting loud. This stadium
Büyük ihtimalle Zeta yendi,
after
evet.
SK finally claim a game. Zeta Division right there with them. This is more of what I expected to see.
Such an interesting interaction between the Lily and the Cordelius. Gero into the Shadow Realm already. Yoshi has to be aware of it. Actually steps forward away from his safe bush, preempting the Lily's foray into enemy territory. Lenar should have Meow dead to right. CS
İkinci maçı da çok iyi oluyorlar lan.
Gero forces Joker to jump away.
Bilmiyorum,
Yoshi's been on the
Mezza.
point.
Mezza abi belki bizim takım yener, nereden bilmiyorum. Belki Zeta yener. Yani iki takım var zaten. %50 şansım var. Değil. Salla kazan.
They needed that one desperately. SK Gaming's entire roster falls. They've got Ice Cream covering the map though. Yashi grabs a kill. Lana already back in action. Meow forced to flank aggressively. Ideally, he'd be in position to try and deal with the other side. Joker with a jump in. It's a trade. Down. Lana can't trade this either. Lily was underneath.
Ah be. Ama geçemezler. İmkanı yok.
Very timely, stunning out both of those SK Gaming brawlers.
Oha lan. Çok yaklaşıyorlar.
Takes an easy elimination. Here comes Joker. Jump over. Gets Novi into the Shadow Realm and it's all SK Gaming all the way.
SK Gaming alıyor.
20% and counting. Gero with a super up, but who's the safe target? It's a hypercharge here for Yoshi. A super will stun them instantly, and it's a carnage sight in the spawn of Zeta Division. SK way ahead.
Gero, the last man standing, holding on to a super and a glimmer of HP. Yashi holding down the fort in the mid. Joker, impeccable defense here, and they're climbing.
Yendiler, tamam.
Indestructible, it's down to Joker here. A few more percentage points will do the trick. A dice in
Dedim
from
ben.
Lana, and SK Gaming tie things up.
And a bit of energy there from the young prodigy. Joker gets the crowd hype. The draft for SK Gaming, they knew exactly what they wanted here on Dueling Beetles. Picked up the Kenji instantly. Took the Lu for that map control, and the Cordelius to answer the assassin threat of Lily. Played out to perfection.
Joker knows he's got a home field advantage here too. You can see him hyping up that crowd. Get them loud when you've got home court advantage. I know this is EMEA all around, but SK fans, Totem fans, there's a few of these big organizations in Brawl that have just made it count a little bit more. Anything you can give these guys, any small advantage makes a difference, especially in games like this first one when it came down to just a mere...
Lenay'ın arkadaşında var. Bakayım izleyebiliyor muyuz onu?
Lenar looks like the flashy one, right? The engine room is Joker. This Cordelius so effective and not only countering Gero out, but also being a very solid assassin in his own right. This was even overkill.
Açılıyor.
Yoshi using a hypercharged super in Zeta Division spawn. The fact that SK Gaming had the wherewithal to be able to make a play like that means they were feeling confident and comfortable.
This was an unorthodox draft as well, and to your point, 427 DPS
Şu an menüde
from
görünüyor.
Joker, team captain, with a 10-piece. That's a really weird draft too. I feel like the fact that he handled that so
Joker'den
well,
bakıyorum,
like
evet.
gadget
Lenay'ın
timing
arkadaşımda yok, şu an yok.
İkinci
İkinci hesap ya bu. İkinci hesapta arkadaşımda yok Lenay.
Lana, the guy they want in the faces of these enemies. If Lana can focus on the
Şu an
squishy Larry and Lori,
Joker'de bakıyorum. Menüde.
they're playing that
Uy, en fazla Joker yapmış lan.
Has nothing to do.
Ama ben Lenay'den beklerdim ya.
No one on his team that can really stop the Kenji. Yes, if the Lily can get a 1 versus 1, then maybe. But there was no way Joker was allowing that to happen. Marking Gero all across the map. It's one apiece in this series now as SK Gaming have truly come alive with a crowd like that behind them. Who knows where that stops?
Early game jitters are out of the way. And now we're on to Pinball Dreams, a little brawl ball action here, a fan favorite from the folks at home. And I think a team like SK Gaming that love these tanky brawlers are so flashy for this game mode.
These bands are pretty similar to what we've seen in the past.
Kenji oğlum anladık ya.
If they don't pick Larry and Lori, they really want to get rid of it. Also the Nita band away.
Bilmiyorum,
They get first pick this draft though when they
bu da Kenji seçecek bak. Lenay'ın da kesin Kenji seçecek. Ben söyleyeyim.
They'd have to have a way to play around it here.
Kenji, the most banned brawler yesterday for a reason. We've already seen him twice today. Every time he has escaped the ban stage, he has been picked pretty early on. Makes a lot of sense too. I mean, he's healing, he does damage. It plays a lot into what you want to see as a brawler. And Rico, I think a really good response. Rico is a fantastic brawler in this meta. That hypercharge does so much damage.
Yeah, it's another Joker brawler picked up there, no doubt about it. Gale as well coming in. Again, we saw him struggle to have great impact against.
Çünkü bir daha Kenji seçseydi kızacaktım şu kalifede. Yeter abi, en Kenji sensin.
On the back foot when they're playing defensively inside their own goals can basically
Benim en sevdiğim karakter 2 tane var ya. Ben Piper main'im, bir de Colette main'im. Ama bu aralar Colette'i daha çok seviyorum yani. Ama o anlamda değil yani. Lazer'i Piper'ı duymaz. O anlamda değil. En sevdiğim karakter yani böyle, ya bilmiyorum, ben ilk çıktığında da en sevdiğim karakter benim Colette.
They could go with an aggressive option as their final pick, but having something like a thrower can get a lot of pinning down of the enemies here. And instead, they're just going to go for the biggest bad in Brawl Stars. El Primo going to be delivering a punch.
Can strip the ball with that suplex, and also his super has an interrupt component to it. Can cover a lot of ground and is generally a nuisance to peel off you. One thing's for sure, this Gale is going to have plenty to do on Pinball Dreams. As he's going to be trying to push back Meow, Gero, and Noe respectively. This is a very aggressive, a very all-in composition for Zeta Division. And at this point, SK can't be thinking about how to counter the Stu because there are 3 brawlers that warrant counters in and of themselves, and Colette is going to round out this composition for SK.
I was going to say, you have to deal with the plethora of health points on this other side. And I was trying to rack my brain of what brawlers do you select. Colette, the tank counter of tank counters, is perfect here. I think it actually makes a lot of sense. They could even go with something like Push It for a defensive mechanism. I actually don't mind this at all. I think this is going to be a pretty solid pick.
I like Push It a lot. It's going to combine, of course, with Lenar's Super Gale Force in being able to stave off these aggressive brawlers. So it's Zeta Division with the aggressive comp. SK Gaming want to be on defense here. Let's see how it plays out in our 3rd set.
This is a big set as well. Whoever takes it's going to have a lead and be on 1 set away from making it to day number 3 of the World Finals. Lena starting off on the right-hand side. The normally aggressive brawler is able to handle the other side, but narrowly. Yoshi already has a supercharged up Joker, a menace on this brawler as well. SK positioning themselves here very early.
There's the Gale Force from Yoshi, and Novi has nothing to do. Gero here as well takes a ton of poke damage, and in comes Meow with the elbow of justice. How are they going to get rid of this El Primo? Pure damage, says Joker, and I've got plenty of it.
Joker meets him in the middle with a lot of shots to the face. SK Gaming, great defense. They have not been able to escape this spawn, and now Navi's back on the prowl.
Lena'yı
right hand in.
kostümü güzel seçmemiş. O kostüm yakışmaz o Colette'e.
And there it is now. I can't quite connect though. Lenar having to use a gotcha gadget earlier on. It's a tough fight to
Demon
beat
Slayer'i
Gero here. Probably wants to
anımsatıyor
push out
bana.
Joker though with the hypercharge. Bullets flying everywhere, but Lenar goes down. Gero's going to be a problem for this Rico, and Joker doesn't even bother trying to deal with the Stu. Yoshi needs a big super here, maybe hyper it, and it does come through. 2 waves of Gale Force pushes Meow back. Another one. Yoshi is cycling those supers like a boss.
SK with a breakaway down the left-hand in. Gero trying to defend. Meow back. Kenji in the fray as well. There's a dive in. Lena doesn't get the kill though. Navi and teammates will be able to push through. Gero back in ball control.
And now we know the Colette does have Push It as a star power, so it's just displacement, not the shielding from mass attacks that you more often look to take. Meow here with that hypercharge up. Lenar wants to be the one pressuring the Primo down, and so he does. Hypercharge super comes in for the Colette. Lenar definitely walks outside of that Slashini X radius, but Gero at least is able to trade. Ball is cornered. Classic SK play, but they still need a goal before they can fall back. Another super from Yoshi, making space for Joker.
Yoshi hasn't been a flashy pick, but he sure as heck has been defensive. Meow hasn't been able to break away yet. Here comes Joker with some tags. Meow with the dive in, taking flight, makes a connection. Take down alongside it. Now SK on the back line. 15 to go on the shot clock, and Zeta are trying to position themselves here. Ball left, right in SK's hands though.
Here comes Lenar again, gets rid of Meow once more. Yoshi again, rinse and repeat, super onto Novi. Gero has to super back towards his goals, but here is overtime. Lenar tried to make a shot, but Novi is too low. Meow will hold possession and corner the ball.
Little preemptive fire there from Lenar. Tried to time it just right, but 2 bodies were standing in his path alongside the goal. Now it's been cornered towards this top left side. A skate away, a dodge. Lenar goes down.
ZETA
making a push here. A tag onto Meow, stuns him out of the ball, but a breakaway opportunity for Zeta Division. The Red Roster with a chance here.
Lenar back off spawn though. Joker under pressure. Lets the super go. Can't dodge the Kenji super.
Ah be.
Novi exited overtime. What a first round!
Hayır ya.
That was only game number 1, Uber. Everybody take a deep breath. We are in for a roller coaster ride here. 2 EMEA Titans trying to show why they deserve to take this big stage, why they deserve a day number 3, and now they're battling at their best for a set 3.
SK need to pivot off their map control. Once they get position, they need to convert into a goal. That was their biggest problem in the previous round. ZETA just kept coming back off spawn, relentless, and eventually overwhelmed them.
Joker gonna slow down a little bit. Looks for these tags, goes in the mid.
Neredeyse bir saat olmuş ya.
Perfect dodge out of Navi there. Now Lana looking at him again. The slice and the dice. It's one goes down. 386 HP, and Lana's running for the hills. He has to corner this ball.
That's a terrible matchup for Lana. He does not want to be spending this round fighting Navi. That's where Yoshi needs to be. Lana though able to win it out at least with a gotcha gadget. No, it's Navi into super instead. Here's the elbow from Meow. Yoshi suplexed out of the way, and it's virtually an open goal as Gero can slot it in.
Perfect start here for ZETA Division. A much earlier goal in game number 2. But SK Gaming not wavering here. A lot of belief in this.
Joker bu arada içimden bir ses Joker atar diyor ya.
ZETA surrounding this ball, but an early pickup here from SK Gaming. Now's the time to push.
Yoshi, another super. Navi just blown to smithereens. Gero down. This is SK's time. They now have to turn this into a goal. Meow's in the way. Suplexes Yoshi out of possession of the ball. We'll see a twister thrown up in front of goal, but SK cannot get possession again. Lana low, Meow will duck back to pick it up, and Joku is in trouble.
Joker in trouble and missed a huge super there. He survives, but they only get away with 1 kill. Yoshi thrown over the shoulders of Meow. They had an opportunity. They have to capitalize here. This is another takedown. ZETA once again on their back heels, and Lana is cooking with a hypercharge.
Gero's in no hurry right now. ZETA Division have that 1 goal lead. Here's the super from Kenji. Yoshi waits it out, and SK have a chance to attack now. Once again, it's the El Primo, though, that stands in their way.
Gero left in the net. Navi off the respawn. Meow taking his time. Lots of hypercharges available. A lot of util that they can click at a moment's notice. And the big playmaker on the other end now has to play defense. Lana with the first one. Bounce shots connecting to Meow. Gero skating over for assistance here. Joker deliberating what to do. Meow fist flying, dives in. Meow intercepts. Joker survives. Yoshi has the hypercharge. He has to push forward. 13 on the clock. Yoshi in open net. He slides it through. We're going to overtime.
Wouldn't have it any other way.
İyi lan. Helal.
On the precipice of winning the set now. Have to do it in
Aa ben ne zaman duşa gireceğim? Ne zaman bitecek bu dünya finali?
Yoshi with a hypercharge just for the base stats. Apparently, Navi in his fate goes for a super. Lana taken down, and Gero from out in front will seal the deal. ZETA Division take Brawl ball.
Advantage ZETA Division.
2-1 ya.
A heated rivalry between 2 of EMEA's finest, and the defending world champions are showing how fierce they truly are. This has been back and forth the whole way. That's exactly what we saw in this Brawl Ball set. I can't help but think back though. SK Gaming certainly had some opportunities, some missed shots.
Eskiden bir adam vardı, adını hatırlamıyorum.
Just looked a little bit better. This to me though is reminiscent of what we saw on that knockout set, Kenny. ZETA Division favor these higher health pool brawlers and eventually hit a critical mass where they overwhelm SK Gaming, who again are playing pretty flashy comps, right? We'd love the recode.
Ama hatırlıyor gibiyim de hatırlıyorum. Adamın yüzünü hatırlıyorum ama ismini unuttum.
A very reactionary move from SK to bring the Colette to answer some of these big health pools. And in fairness, they look good. Lana looked really, really good here. But once he burnt through those gadgets, he got a little bit too much. And look at the damage.
Yine Joker. Hiç
This
şaşırmadık.
is the difference that is made by bringing in these hefty tanks. And I've got to say, Navi, on that Kenji, doing well to secure positive matchups after spending so long getting Gale forced into boxes over and over again.
That's part of Brawl Stars. Sometimes health points are enough, even though there was so much damage being applied by this SK Gaming roster. The defense, great. They couldn't hold on long enough. There's only so many opportunities after so many spawns. 1 kill, and there's 15,000 health points of El Primo just sprinting at you. You can only hold off for so long.
It's just too much to deal with, and the El Primo doesn't really have to do anything overly special. Can strip the ball, though, from plays. We saw Yoshi was threatening a goal. He got suplexed back into ZETA Division's net and lost possession. And SK were in no position to recoup the ball and actually make a shot on goal. ZETA Division had not only a very solid comp, but great contingencies as well.
Now we're moving on to last stop.
Son
Completely different game mode and an opportunity. SK Gaming have 3 players on this roster that have come so close. But to be honest, we give them a lot of credit at this international stage. Yashi made a Final Four last year, but other than that, these guys have been good in the regular season, haven't exploded in the postseason. This is a legacy match for these fellas. An opportunity to take this big organization, this huge fan base to the promised land here day 3. That's something this team has lacked.
And boy, those fans have been waiting. SK Gaming Nation have been frothing at the mouth to finally see a team go all the way. And this is an ambitious project. Younger guns on this SK Gaming
Ben de buradan
roster,
bir şeyler açayım. Chat'e bakayım buradan.
Here's a Surge picked up who, to my knowledge, performed really well yesterday.
Yeah, 71.4% win rate, tied for the 4th most plays. I'll take that all day.
Ben de buradan.
Uber. Last stop here too. I think a big part of him as well, the unpredictability of that hypercharge, when it's guaranteed to land some shots to explode, so much damage can be applied. And this is also just a great answer into any aggression. If you want to get aggressive, Surge is going to shadow that brawler. Get those free tags so they can get to that tier 2, tier 3, and heck, that tier 4 stage is unbelievable.
Yeah, absolutely terrifying to face Surge down at that stage of the game. Gem grab here, so a safe mid in Gus being picked up by Meow. Also someone who can empower those more aggressive side laners to move up, bully their opponents out, and take that map control. Clancy's available. We've seen that sort of looked at on some of these Gen grab maps, more hard rock mine and maybe some of the more close-quartered ones. Last stop is a little bit more open in some areas, but Amber also been targeted by Banton here. Here's that aforementioned Clancy's edited. So both teams with a brawler that loves the long game.
And both these brawlers top 5 selections yesterday. This has been concrete parts of our
meta. Bunlar nasıl önceden izliyor bir bilek gücü falan?
I'm mixed emotions because I do
it's
really...
like 30% win rate, right?
Yeah, it's 1/3 of the time yesterday that he won, and obviously the game
is different,
the map pool different.
Piper seç.
The sentiment still remains the same. The damage is something that's going to be an issue. He powers
İşte bu.
but if your teammates aren't exploding, if they're not
İşte bu be. Piper be adamım.
It's so costly.
Bu haritada Piper gider. Ya da belki şey gidebilir ya bu haritada. Bu arada Tara gidebilir. Tara ve evet, Tara ve Surge'yi gider. Tara. Duyuyorsun beni değil mi? Beni duyuyorsun Nenay'ın. Adamım. Tara gider bu arada.
Also, like help from beyond can be very effective against those single shot brawlers, but again, a little bit of an eyebrow raiser this pick.
Definitely. It's been a while. It's funny too, because last year the meta didn't really revolve around Tara at this time either, but I still remember last stop, Tara showing up. I think in Gym Grab specifically, when you have a super, and now Tara obviously equipped with a hypercharge since then.
Which makes her super bigger.
Exactly. Which is easier to hit, disrupts the gym count. If you just need one big play, Tara might be the brawler to count on. However, this counter pick on the other side, it is a tank, but you can get rid of any effect of that pull from Tara's super. This might be the answer that Zeta Division need.
I love the quick response from the Buster here for Zeta. Trying to book their tickets to the semi-finals with a win over regional rivals SK Gaming. By the way, it's not that it's acrimonious. These guys are friends. I got smashed by a Joker and Novi at table football the other day, so they hang out. But still, this game means so much to both of them, and SK Gaming now need to force a set 5.
Interregional pride on the line. A day 3 ticket to the World Finals on the line, and Joker starting out early with a couple taps. Yashi there to secure one as well. It's going to take him a sec, but he has to find a way to get up in Buster's face. Make a few tags here. There's the second. He needs one more, and he'll be at a tier 2 stage.
Meow has to make a gadget boost there to dodge away. Linnell with some help from the Beyond. Looking to pressure down. It was Joker catching Gero, though. And that will allow SK Gaming to get a healthy little lead here. Notice that Joker uses Poppin to blow up the bushes and make it dangerous for that Buster to emerge.
Now getting
hadi lan.
Eski
yaparsın.
Goes Zeta Division's way though. Joker looking for a gadget, doesn't quite connect. Always a disappointing feeling when the auto aim doesn't quite hit.
Still no Joker. And Linnell splitting the map. It's going to have to be the Buster coming in from above with that montage super. Meow has just hit level 2. Novi can take map control behind that super now, and he does. Joker at 9 gems, though. There's a gravity thrown down. Healing Shade doesn't quite make it to Linnell, and Novi's having to bring him down. Joker's in trouble. He's got to get out with the pop-in. 1 gem away are SK Gaming.
And now they've gotten all their bushes revealed. Joker has to be super careful. Meow still hasn't made it to a tier 3, but if he does, this gets dangerous. Navi with a super, and now Lana falls once again. Yashi under pressure. Joker can't make a move, and SK Gaming are just left to wait.
What's the hype? But that's
Bir
a big
elmas sonra da
hit on
bitiyor.
Meow. Should let Lana into these bushes to pressure the Clancy. Now just dodging one of those shots. Yoshi.
Hadi lan,
one you want to
alırsınız.
fight the Buster, apparently. And Joker
Hepsi
still
Joker'de
sitting
bu
9
arada.
gems, now is in danger.
Meow got away with one there. He was able to hide, and this gym count increasing by the second. They haven't found a way to deal with the right or the left lane. Yashi diving in, he has to make a move. There's one. Hypercharge madness going down. Meow low HP. He narrowly dodges though. The counter! A sharpshooter shot connects, but Garrow's one away.
Here comes Lana. Big super. It's massive. And it strips all the gems from Zeta Division. Meow can only look on now as Lana gets away with the heist of the century.
There's the big play that they needed. Tara makes it count when it matters most.
Efendim.
Coming alive here in game number 1 of set 4, and now they're one away.
What a comeback for SK.
One big play is all you need in this game mode. They were outclassed in the second half of game number 1, but if they get a good one here, that's all it takes. That's the X factor Tara brings. And now Joker back in position and already with an early gym count here.
Now getting aggressive despite only being rank 1 there, Kenny. Yoshi goes in, now be able to use that instant replay to draw him in. That's going to be a gravity from Lana. A lot of loose gems here. Joker back in position with a kooky popper is going to force him off that line.
Yashi a wide open right-hand side lane. Garrow backed up, pressure being applied from Lana. Nalby trying to move forward, and there's the perfect pull that they needed. Joker forced away and barely survives.
Still though, 3 gems to SK Gaming's name. They are in this. Still level 1 though is Yoshi. Yet to really get rolling. Holding onto that super now to try and use it to close the gap, but that's a torrent from Meow that vaporizes him.
Lana still holding on to this hypercharge. Some extra gadgets. He's not quite sure where these guys are. A little bit of scouting report done. Does his due diligence. Now he's sneaking up in the backhand line. Joker gets one. There's the pull, but he can't get it fully. Garrow down. Yoshi moving in now. And gems being collected for SK. They are a narrow lead.
But now Novi is carrying the gems. Can he be nearly as aggressive while he is the player that has the win condition in hand? Yoshi wants to come forward at level 3. He's looking scary, but Novi has super available.
Hypercharge for Joker. Long range shots. He's playing it carefully, looking for that extra speed. Meow down low, has to dive away. And Garrow looking to match. Navi slowly bringing the Zeta Division push up, and this is going to be all evened out if they're not careful.
Yoshi with the hypercharge goes aggressive. He needs to get to Novi though. The shots bouncing around the corner. Put some serious pressure on the Buster. But Garrow snaps another gem up. It's 9-7. One more for SK and Novi knows it. He's got to come forward, but Yoshi hits harder. And now we have a count.
Hadi lan. Dayanın. Tamam. Joker kaçtı. Aldılar.
And SK Gaming
Aldılar.
10 gems in Joker's pocket. And Zeta Division see the writing on the wall. Guess what, Brawl Nation?
Here we go.
EMEA is giving you your
Here we go.
Set 5 to open day
İşte
number
bu.
2.
Haymaker after haymaker being thrown from these superstar EMEA teams. Let's have a look back over this gem grab set, which really felt like it was decided, but some huge Tara supers and Yoshi finally getting involved in that last round to close it out.
I got real nervous for SK Gaming, I'll be honest with you. They were looking so good off the start of that game 1, and slowly but surely, Zeta Division crept in with complete control. Isolating the left side, isolating the right. There was nowhere for them to move. A big-time Lana play is what made the difference in both sets. One hypercharged Tara pool changed everything. 291 DPS, and I know he wasn't leading in the kill category. I know it wasn't a perfect set for him, but you don't need perfect, you just need a win.
It's another example of a Gus game that doesn't look good on paper here, Kenny. Garrow first picks that safe mid and really hopes that the Gus Super is going to allow the Buster probably to close the gap in a big way, but I don't think the Zeta Division were ready for that Tara. That really throws a spanner in the works.
Ya. Bitmedi maç. Boşa gireceğim ben de.
I will fight you head to head. I will throw this super down and I will take you down.
The surprise attack factor, especially on a map like that where it's 2 very narrow, skinny lanes that are covered in grass. If you get one launch of that pull, changes everything. He's the X factor. They play around this guy, and that's exactly what they did in a set number 4. When your season is on the line, when there's no more room for error, you count on your star player.
It's crazy to think that this is the same SK Gaming we saw come out in that first set and look pretty lifeless. Now,
hadi bitsin la yeter. SK kazansın.
We have a decider set. Couldn't ask for a better game here as we head to
Son
Shooting Star.
This
For our
one's gonna-
tiebreaker.
This
Piper
one's gonna be
gider.
special. Bounty, where we're
Piper
going
ya da
to.
Tik.
Yesterday we got to see this map. Gus is certainly in the equation.
Piper
Here's
ve Tik
Byron
gider.
Bell, fun fact, second most picked brawler yesterday. Obviously a lot of knockout and a lot of bounty in that mix. So I wouldn't be surprised if we saw her here today. 10 plays, 60% win rate. At a professional level, you'll take that all day.
I mean, the nest egg is just too good, Kenny. So important to catch out enemy brawlers and give yourself at least 2 stars upon that elimination. Very, very hotly contested. Angelo, going to be taken away first here for SK Gaming. A great pick to start the draft with.
He escapes the ban stage, and he was the 3rd most banned yesterday. I'm curious if this was very intentional. I'm seeing 2 throwers there, so Zeta Division definitely have something in mind, right? You don't throw out a Sprout and a Tick, 2 pretty overall on meta brawlers. They're occasionally picked here, but I think it's because they want to make a certain brawler
Larry
shine.
Laurie?
And I'm curious who that is. Yeah, maybe they want that leftover thrower, or maybe they just want a better matchup for themselves. They know something deep down. This had to be very intentional, though.
Yeah, again, I mean, both can outrange Larry and Laurie. The Tick's a problem for Larry in general. Piper going to be picked up. So Zeta Division.
Dedim Piper
themselves
gider,
out a
Tik de gider.
sharpshooter. And if they're going to pick a specific thrower, it might have to be here, lest SK Gaming sniff out their strategy and take it for themselves.
I think Piper a very safe first selection for their side on this 2-3 turn. You gotta get it right. All you have left at the end is just response to what SK Gaming do. So they want to start with a solid foundation. They have that long range. They have a dynamic playmaker. They have a great gadget selection, a brawler with a hyper charge. I like what they're doing here. And they're pairing it with Jean, who is traditionally a great Piper counter. They've got the magic puffs ability, the evil spirits they can send out. That chip damage normally really affects the other side. So I think pairing these two makes a lot of sense practically.
We've seen Jean be pretty terrifying. We've seen Rival also go for a Jean Grey composition that used like a Grey walking cane into a Jean magic hand to secure a kill. That was one of the most exciting plays of yesterday. But Jean alone, who's been banned a lot through the course of the series, especially on those knockout maps, is always a threat.
Beni biliyorsun be.
Picked up here for SK Gaming.
Gaz da alabilirsin.
Potential for you.
Yeah,
Gus,
I mean,
Gus.
this is aggressive. This isn't a tank, but it's certainly aggressive. They're pairing it with a Gus. Now they've got
Helal.
the bubble. They can apply that to somebody on Carl and make sure that he stays nice and healthy. A tailspin.
Dur şey yazayım, hangi karakteri alacağını yazayım.
For them too, especially for this game, but especially
ZETA.
on this map. One flying hook guarantees a blue star every time, and that is something so crucial at a professional level.
And SK's comp here, despite Carl being present, does want to be defensive.
Yazdım inşallah
They do
görür.
need to
Pearl
look
dedim.
out for the Jean poke damage.
Beni duy Novi. Novi beni duy. Pearl
They're
al.
gonna have to find a way to mitigate that.
Yazdım.
Maybe they hope the Carl gets hooked. He can obviously get a bubble from that Gus and go in and be terrifyingly strong and have a lot of extra health. And so we
Helal.
go for the Pearl here. It's a safe pick. It's not the most exciting, but again in
Evet,
these longer
üç alan
rounds, Pearl
kazanıyor,
is an
evet.
absolute menace.
A lot of poke
Doğru
damage
diyorsunuz.
in a very pesky brawler. This is going to be a very annoying composition to deal with if you're SK Gaming. They can constantly put pressure on you. It's going to take a lot here. 2-2
Lan screen
overall in the
rekorları niye
standings.
açıldı?
The margin for error has been reduced to 0, Brawl Nation. One set
şuraya
to
al ya.
decide it all.
Vengeful spirits here. The gap to pick up for the Jean. There's no potential really.
Of çok gergin ya var ya.
Zeta aren't worried about it. Lamp blowout though wouldn't have been shocking either. Gero poked down early, and of course that blue star already going over to SK Gaming.
Lana still in the mid, hovering around this wall, just trying to be annoying, a nuisance into Zeta Division. Yashi has the shield already ready too. He's got a Cookie Popper available. Navi's gonna now have to watch for that.
Joker here pops super down. Can play that line a little more aggressively, but still has to respect Gero's damage. Now we'll look to step forward. It's up to Zeta Division to figure this out. They need to get Meow's super online, put Navi in a position where he can fully commit. Gero flashing a homemade recipe,
Alırlar
but
ya.
able to outrange it.
Ama tik de alabilirdiniz ya.
No kills and the first one pops. Yashi grabs one. Navi trying to get aggressive here. I think this is a little bold. Angelo makes a tag. Lana wants more though. He has a shield applied to him and they force out a super from Garo, but the pull goes through. Response from Zeta Division.
They get the blue star, but they're still behind by one Kenny.
Cristiano kaç abone olmuş lan onu merak ettim. Bu Cristiano 66 milyon. 66 milyon olmuş kalmış.
Now they're back up against their walls. The evil spirit it does connect.
Ben aboneyim.
Zeta Division now with the lead. Hypercharge
Hayır ya. Yeniyorlar ya.
They have to get aggressive.
And they have to go in with a Carl, but that's a problem. If Novi builds a super, you cannot dive a Pearl when she has that super available. You will be blown up instantly. 10 seconds left and SK Gaming trying to find a little bit of poke damage. Yoshi comes forward, super ready. Lana has to go in, hooked in, dive. There's going to be a jump from Yao. Still, SK Gaming come out on top. Full commitment, full trust, full force.
The highest pressure situation you could possibly have here in Brawl Stars. These fellas putting everything on the line. What looked bleak for a moment is now SK Gaming on match points.
It doesn't get much
SK
closer than
Gaming.
that, Kenny. SK Gaming
Ben dedim
had to
oğlum
breathe a
yani
sigh of
öyle.
relief for having got away with that in the first place. The gene is a
Ben
problem.
dedim.
It's very scary to deal with Meow. Here's the Vengeful Spirits again. Good poke. Homemade recipe almost claims the blue star.
SK once again backed
Chat
up
ben
to
demiştim
their
size.
spawn side. Still the star advantage. They're playing this defensively. They don't have to overdo it. Normally a really aggressive comp, but they're going to be passive aggressive on this one. They're going to look for a mistake from Zeta Division and then strike.
They know they're going to be defensive because of their ability to get that early blue star. But they're giving up a lot of map control. Lana just steps out in the open. That's the blue star handed over to Zeta.
Zeta Division now with a narrow lead. One star, the difference maker. Time dwindling on in both these sides, just trying to charge up utility. Joker pierces a shot through that indestructible wall.
Once more.
Looking to get in position.
Dangerous.
That's over-aggression. Mistake coming out of Joker.
I get it. He saw Meow was low. He knew he had the blue star as well. But an uncharacteristic overheat from the youngster. Here comes Garo now. Hypercharge. Getting a stat boost. Lana is certainly going to drop here. Nice shield from Joker, but he won't walk away. Still, blue star back to SK. It's a 2-star deficit for the team in blue.
That's important. Even though they're down, blue star matters. When not diving in, they're going
Fizik
for a
Amerikalı
position
mı
here.
arkadaşlar?
They have to set themselves up for one final
the
push.
hand.
Crucial miss out of Meow.
Composure now for SK Gaming. They know what they have to do. They need Yoshi super online. And Lana needs to build one too. They need to be able to full engage here or get some ghosts set up for Cookie Popper activations for the Gus.
Joker now, shot clock available. One kill possibly away from day number 3. Lana in position, Yashi flanks. Now he on the left hand in. Yashi looking for get him in position. This could be a rewrite of the previous game. It's Lanavi chasing him down, and they've done it! SK Gaming! Seize the crown!
Kutluyoruz arkadaşlar.
The Kings, SK Gaming, have put the world champions to the sword.
Kutluyoruz. İşte bu be. İşte böyle be. Ben sana demiştim. Mezza. Yeneriz diye doğru tahmin be. İşte bu be. İşte böyle be. İşte böyle lan.
What a miraculous final game there. Back-to-back games. Look at this. Came down to the final
Bitti be.
seconds. Lana low HP. He
Yendiler.
dies with 2 seconds left. And one single shot from Joker changed the entire game. This game number 2, a repeat. Lana once again in position. Yashi with the flank and Joker with a big time shot here. And Lana scoops up the rest. The kill count actually favoring Zeta Division's side.
Bu sefer
That
Yoshi
is
fazla.
tragic.
And that's how the cookie crumbles. Zeta Division just having a couple of extra stars to be taken from them in those final moments. Garo
Çorabımı
consistent
yırtacağım.
great damage over the course of Bounty. but we saw both rounds come down to the
Yırttım.
very dying seconds. And for a
Çorabı
team like
yırttım.
SK to be able to orchestrate a comeback of that
Lan sinir
magnitude within such a small
mutluluktan
window.
çorabı yuttum bak.
That's
Delik
special.
açıldı.
You
Normalde
don't see that
önü
every day,
burası.
but we rarely
Şurada
ever
da
see
delik
that
açıldı.
at all.
This World Finals has just been unbelievable. Yesterday,
İşte
best of
bu ya.
days, it felt like we were going toe to toe on this stage with
Cidden
every single team.
mutlu oldum he.
The 2 seed, the 3 seed, throw it out the window. When you get to this level, every team is just fighting for their lives to the point where a world champion goes down in our quarterfinals. MVP
Bir
for the
saatin
people at home,
sonunda.
the man that revolves around SK Gaming's
Sonunda
entire
bitti.
plan, Lana.
Had a big job playing the Carl on bounty means
Yayına
he
devam
needs to be the
edeceğiz
one
bu
ultimately
arada.
to choose to decide when to go in.
Luki'nin
We
falan
talked about
şeyini
it with
izleyeceğiz.
Make
Totemi
sure
de
your
izleyeceğiz.
chickens give him a shield. Send Lenar in. And it's the classic Swiss guy go kill strategy for SK Gaming that pays off in the very end. But none of that would work with that Joker in the
Şunu da
background,
kapatalım
pulling
rengini
the
ya.
strings, the mastermind here for SK Gaming. That was a set that ought to be studied. And I'll give you something else for homework, folks. Let's check our bracket and see how things stand as of the end of our first quarterfinal. SK Gaming advanced to take on the winner of Humble
Şimdi
and Pioneers.
Humble ve
making
Pioneers
it to
var.
the
Humble
semifinals.
yener.
Something tells me
Tahminim
it might just be
Humble'a.
destiny for this team.
Crazy Raccoon yener, öbür tahminim. Totem yener ama Rival da yenebilir. Şu ikisi arasında kararsızlık kaldı. Ben Totem'e oy verdim. Rival yenebilir. Ben öbürlerinde Humble'a ve Crazy Raccoon'a verdim. Bence birinci olan SK olacak ya. Öyle düşünüyorum.
And now Crazy Raccoon, they see Zeta Division out of the way, and I'm sure they're not too upset about it.
Oh, buddy, absolutely. The bottom part of that bracket also promises to tell a compelling story. Coming up next, it's a question of whether this
Şimdi ufak bir mola arkadaşlar. Sonra yayınımıza kaldığımız yerden devam edeceğiz. Tamam mı?
Event.allstars.com. Head over there, get your predictions in, and get yourself some fantastic in-game loot, including potential hypercharge. You can see how much of a difference those have been making over the course